It's funny.
There it is.
It shows live on your side?
It did, yeah.
Okay.
It says meeting is now streaming live on YouTube.
Well, hey, here we are. I'm so happy you're here, Kim.
Me too.
And
I'm happy to be here.
I know a lot of people are going to be I had several people tell me they're gonna have to watch the replay. So hello,
Okay.
replay people. But I have a page of notes, and um like you said, we're talking tonight about enthusiasm to a point. It's all tied in together. But I thought we would open up by going around the table. It's a small table today, but that's okay. And I want you to think about, how do you define success for you within your Mary Kay? Okay.
Okay.
And there's no wrong answer. Okay. If you're watching replay, I want you to do this too. Like, I'm going to start because I obviously have had time to think about it. Um, I just took a couple of quick notes, but it occurs to me that when I first got started, that success was selling product and success was booking appointments, and I still see that as success. But what I also, I guess it all comes with age. But to me now, success is spending time with those that I love, and it's celebrating wins. And sometimes when I celebrate my own personal win, because I have this tendency to go, okay, but I didn't do that, and I didn't do that, and I didn't do that, but I just did this one thing. So to
Mm.
stop doing the what I didn't do, focus on what I did do, and continue to set goals, because without goals, we will just kind of stay stuck in the mud. So um I define success: spending time with those I love, celebrating my wins, always striving for more, and having joy and harmony in my life. And when I've learned that it's okay to say no, and it's okay um, to be selfish with my time, and to put my business, where faith, family, career. So it's, you know, out in the real world, it's all about career, right?
Hmm.
So, but it's important to keep it in the top three so that you don't release it, I guess. Anyway, Kim, how do you define success for you?
Well, I mean, I love all of those things, all of the above of what you said. But when I put, I'm like a year and 4 months, 3 months into my business, and like you at first, I was like, okay, I need to sell product, and success is if I sell product, and get customers and have them continue to buy from me. Um, but I found with that, it's kind of short lived, right? For me, success is about making connection and staying faithful to that. Making connections with just people, and sometimes it garners sales, and other times it garners friendships and then sales, and sometimes it doesn't garner much, but it doesn't mean that I should stop trying. And I apply that to my day job too, right? Success for me is about those connections, um, whether it's a connection from a student or a staff member to a book, or just a connection and having a conversation and getting to know our students and our staff on a personal level. And so um, my family is also, right up there, and my faith, and I think all of those sometimes um, I forget in the day in and day out to celebrate those, because those are wins. Um, to have a roof over our head, and to have clothing, and to have security, and to have those little moments with family is super, super important. Um, and it's not failure if I'm not getting the sales I wish I would get. It just means that I need to continue, right, to work my business, and know that it'll come. The more I do it, the longer I do it, and the you know, if I do it with fidelity, then all of that will come, and then success can also be measured by those sales. And so for me, it's not about the dollar amount, it's really about the connection, and not just the connection to customers, but my connection to the business and the philosophy, and
Awesome.
you know, of Mary Kay, and the philosophy, you know, that Mary Kay Ash put into this business, and how much she believed in it. And so just those
Girl,
little reminders are
so
super,
perfect.
super special. Yeah, super special.
For real. And um, I was on a director national Zoom this morning, and we're reading, and I know you love to read, Mary Kay on people management, which is
Oh.
not at all, it, I don't know why it's called that, because it's really not about managing people. It's all about her philosophies, right?
Mm.
This book is 100% about her philosophies. And it's funny because if you I just have to tell you, like, I've read her autobiography multiple times, but this book was gifted to me. And you know, when a book smells old, you know what I'm talking
Yep.
about, right? Okay, so I have had this book, and I had never opened it because it's small and the print is small, and I don't know, just something about that, and it smells old. So but then when Lily says we're going to read this book together, I'm like, okay, so let me go find it. And and I don't know, I think the name of it didn't really like resonate with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not understanding that it really is like a continuation of her autobiography. But anyhow, um, today we were talking about enthusiasm and success. And I, I have all the thoughts in my head. I want to connect dots, but you really said about having the love of her philosophies, and it's a this book has been such a stellar reminder. And this is an old print, so if you go and look it up on Amazon or thrift
Mm-hmm.
books, it probably looks different.
Okay.
Um, but because it's not in print anymore, so you'd have to get a used copy anyway. Um, enthusiasm looks different for everybody. So if you're familiar with like Gloria Mayfield Banks, have you ever watched
Mm-hmm.
her at all?
I have just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, her personality is so huge. And when I think of enthusiasm without any of the thought process behind it, when I just think enthusiasm, I think of Gloria, because she's like,
Mm.
you know, she's just so like this all the time. Well, I can't compete with that, and most people
Right.
can't compete with that. And so success, uh, it's about the people, and the people that God intended for each of us to um to interact with. He's got like a plan laid out of all the people we're all supposed to meet, but sometimes we get stuck in defining success as, well, I haven't sold a lot, or I don't have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
customers. And
Yeah.
and then we have this tendency, and this book kind of sort of talks about it, to say, oh, well, to say, well, if I'm not successful, how can I be enthusiastic? So being enthusiastic in regards to the things that you just said, Kim, and for fun, share with Mandy or what you were saying, if you don't mind, a little tiny bit about enthusiasm for the company and her philosophies. Can you hear me? Kim, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. It cut out for a second.
Who's that?
There's Mandy.
Mandy and Nancy. Whoa.
Yeah.
So Kim, you were saying about enthusiasm for the company and Mary Kay's
Mm-hmm.
philosophies. Just share that, or reiterate what you said there again.
Yeah, just that um those daily reminders that we give ourselves, because we're talking about success and how we measure success in our business, before you two logged on. And it really, yes, of course, we're in the business to sell product, and make women feel beautiful. That's part of the philosophy, but really it's about the connection to people, right? The connection to our customers and the connection to ourself, and how we define happiness. And it isn't always in necessarily,
Dollars.
the dollar amount that we sell. It's about, how it makes us feel. It's about, being enthusiastic, right? And so just tying that back into how do we incorporate, Mary Kay Ash's philosophies, because that's really what it's about. Mimi was talking about the book that she was reading with the call that she was on, and Mary Kay Ash's, on people management. And it really isn't about managing people; it's about connecting to people. And so I define success by those connections in my family, in my day job, in my friendships, and then in my business too. And so if I just stay faithful to it and I do it with fidelity, all of those things will continue to grow. And then the dollar amount, right? Those things that we're selling will continue to grow from that. So it's
And that
hard
right
not to
there,
be discouraged sometimes. Like I was saying before, I didn't have a great last 7 days, but it's mostly with my day job. It is the end of the school year, so it's pretty stressful. And so I may not have worked my business as much, but I did some, and I have to give myself some grace,
absolutely.
and just continue to do it. You know what I mean? So that's what we were talking about, ladies.
Absolutely. It's almost like, and really, we didn't talk at all other than like I asked her to do the closing tonight, but it's almost like what's written on the next page of this book that I'm going to read. So, but before,
I promise we did not
I know we
rehearse
did
this.
not. So I'm gonna, Nancy, Mandy, if you could just take like 1 minute each, and just because I think it's important that we each verbalize, um, how do you define success in your Mary Kay business? How do you define success? Not what is not success, but how do you define success? And there's no wrong answer. So Nancy, you look like you're jumping out of your skin, so I'll let you go first.
Okay. So real quick, because Kim is absolutely right. There are the weirdest of things that come about when you least expect it. And you just have to know that there is this little side of you having a great breakthrough that the enemy will try to come and twist things in so many ways for you. But I do believe Kim is correct in the success is the friendships and the people that you meet along the way that stay with you for it, how they say it could be a short time, it could be a season, it could be a lifetime. And sometimes there are those things that are said that make you remember why we were actually brought into this business and
Oh, that's so perfect.
actually doing with
Love
us.
it. Love it.
Yes.
And it's wonderful to see you.
Okay.
How about you, Mandy? How do you define success? And you're muted.
I guess I would just say it's taking care of my customers and taking care of my family, taking care of my spiritual life. And at the end of the day, if I can wash my face and look in the mirror and say, you did the best job you could today, that's success for me.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So notice that nowhere in here did we say that we measure success by how much we've sold, even though it, by applying the things we talk about, the sales will come. And I will say this too, and the person knows who I'm talking about, but, and when you're having those days or moments where you're like frustrated and unsure, why am I here? Pick up the phone and call me. Please pick up the phone and call me, text me. It's honestly the only reason I'm still here. It's the only reason I made it through my first year is because my director told me, I want to hear from you every single day. And her and I talked, and I'm not kidding, 10 to 15 times every single day for almost a year. Okay. Now I want you to think about how she must have felt when she would see my name come up on her phone. Okay. And she still, but you know what? We're all here because she did that. Okay. So when you feel good, call me. When you feel icky, call me. That's what I'm here for. Okay. I don't know more than you. I just have been, like Mary Kay said, she has the bloodiest knees, right? And like I've seen more faces. I've seen more faces. That's all that it is. I've done more of this on a consistent basis. That's it. Okay. Mandy, you look like you want to say something, honey. No? Okay. All right. So I'm going to read like 2 paragraphs out of this book to the best of my ability because the print is very small. And it says this is called The Power of One-to-One Enthusiasm Works. And before I go any further, this is where you guys came in, is that enthusiasm is kind of like success. It's not the same for everybody. And since we are all familiar with each other, Nancy's enthusiasm is like her energy levels, right? Now, my energy level's not quite the same. Does that mean that my enthusiasm is not as good as Nancy's? Somebody say no.
No, I was on mute.
Yeah.
No, that
So,
does not mean that at all.
When Kimberly said about the love and passion for Mary Kay Ash and her principles, that is enthusiasm. Mandy, you unmuted. I assume you want to say something.
No.
All right, so let me read this paragraph. It says, the power of one-on-one enthusiasm works. Now, some of what I'm going to say probably doesn't like fit our conversation right now. Just hear me out. It says, we all know the powerful effect that enthusiasm has on groups of people. For example, resulting in hysteria at a football game, sales pep talks, political rallies, concerts. Okay, y'all know what that is like. But most of our dealings with people are one-on-one relationships. Here, the amount of enthusiasm we're able to generate is a measure of our powers of persuasion. And nothing is so persuasive as one-on-one enthusiasm. It may be expressed in many ways: body language, facial expression, a nonverbal gesture, a twinkle in your eye, an ear-to-ear grin, or the tone of voice. She says, I've talked by phone with people who were halfway around the world and felt their enthusiasm that they generated. Salespeople who excel in telephone selling are proof that enthusiasm can be successfully transmitted by the voice alone. Conversely, a lack of enthusiasm can produce devastating results. Hesitation and self-doubt are also contagious. Okay, so have you ever watched a salesperson who's totally indifferent to his product? If a customer asks how the object functions or whether or not replacement parts are available, whatever, the salesperson replies, I don't know, I guess. Okay. That lack of enthusiasm is immediately transferred. And even a customer who enters a store to buy, ready to purchase, can be dissuaded from the purchase. Likewise, a manager who half-heartedly presents their new project to his people is very likely to receive support. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be all-knowing in all things all the time, right? But what did you get from just that little bit? Please unmute, share with me something you got just by listening to. And this is Mary Kay writing us. Okay.
And,
you're all
and she sounds like an HR representative. She sounds like someone who is very well versed in HR and how you make others feel when they show up for the job or they show up for whatever it is. You know, a part of what you do in your life or how you share definitely rubs off on someone else. So, how do you want to be remembered?
Yep.
How do you
Love
want to be recognized?
that.
How do you want to show up?
Beautiful. Mandy. Only called on you because you unmuted, so I thought you know.
Okay, I'm leaving it muted.
Okay, gosh, Nancy said something that like made my, when I first heard when I was first reading this part about hesitation and self-doubt, I also started thinking about, have you ever gone into a store? Okay, and I don't know that this happens as much anymore. Maybe it's because I don't shop in stores anymore. But where you walk in and they're like, can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? What do you need? And they're like following you around. Like Bath and Body Works is kind of like that to me. And that over enthusiastic in my face turns me off. How about you guys? Or when you're like trying to buy a car,
To me, it's fake. To me, it's fake and it's pushy and it's over the edge. I see that kind of stuff and I'm turned off immediately. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Like I wear everything on my face. Sorry, but I've had the week from hell and it shows. And it sounds like in my voice too. And I'm trying to nurture my business here and it's hard. And so I think your voice explains a lot. When I'm on fire, I'm on fire. And when I'm not, I'm not.
I'm giving you a great big hug. This is me hugging you. Okay.
Yeah. So I think enthusiasm, to me, I just want you to do what you say. You know, I just want you to show up. I want you to call me, but don't call me every day because I'm not, I've got other things, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not gonna, I'm just a busy person. So I'm trying to get stuff done, but I appreciate a call out. I appreciate your faithfulness. I appreciate those kind of things. And to me, that's enthusiasm. You're sharing the product. That's enthusiasm. We know you love it. We know that you believe in it, and that needs to come through. But I think
Genuinely.
just be yourself. I mean, be yourself. I can't be Nancy. I'm sorry. I cannot be Nancy. I am not Nancy.
And that was kind of the point, is we're all different.
Yeah.
And
can I just share one thing? Can I just share something with Mandy? So man, also like Kim was saying, it's hard right now because she's at the end of the school year and all year long she's had to be, at the greatest with all these kids running around and doing one thing or another. But can you only imagine, because I teach and I train, right? There is enthusiasm in the packages that you get from Amazon. So you may not see someone one-on-one, but if you get a package and you have paper in it and it's got some stuff wrapped up, but it didn't have everything wrapped up, you're kind of pissed off, right? You're kind of like, why would they not wrap this, or why would they not do this a certain way? You know, you open up that box, and have you ever cut something open and you cut into what you ordered? And you're just like, who in the world packs like that? Or who in the
Yes.
world? So I also have to teach from a standard of these people aren't going to see you. They're not going to know you, but you want them to be just as enthused when they open up their package and they know that you've taken care of their product that they sent you.
Absolutely. And
So
it's
there
just
can
like,
be enthusiasm in a package that you open.
agree completely. Like enthusiasm shows itself in so many ways. And that is such a great point, Nancy. And I also want to say to Mandy, you know, I'm really proud of you for still being here, even though you haven't had the very best of day, which is why I attached that thing that says sometimes the meeting needs you because you had a great week, and sometimes you need the meeting just because we don't, at least for me, outside of Mary Kay or, you know, my Bible study friends, like I don't have, it's just such a different world, you know? So anyhow, read Mary Kay's autobiography. If you haven't read it this year, read it. You know, it can be what you do while you soak in the tub. Maybe you listen to it on Audible. I don't even know if it's on Audible, but I think it's really important for us to stay connected to her values and principles. And like Nancy says, down to the packaging, you know, like that's why during COVID, I started, you know, making every delivery look like a gift instead of just throwing it in the plastic bag. You know, all of my customers' deliveries are in a gift bag with tissue and a sticker and ribbon, and because I want her to feel special. And that's kind of, anyway, this is just going all over the place, but yeah.
That's absolutely real. That is 100%. You want to be enthused when you open that package,
Yeah.
regardless of what you ordered.
For sure. And like in the book, when it was talking about like the person who didn't know, like I don't memorize ingredients and things like that, but you know, if you haven't tried, and I'm going to say all of the products, then you maybe, you know, we've got 6 months left of the year. Make it a goal to get all the products on your face so that you can make recommendations, you know. And my customers know, like when they're asking me about foundation, for example, like I don't even stock what I don't like. I don't stock if I don't like it, unless I have a customer. If Kim's my customer and Kim's like, oh no, I have to have cream to powder, I have to have it, so I'll make sure I have Kim's, but that's it. Because I don't like that product. So I don't even show it, don't talk about it. And if people ask me, I'm like, I like these other ones a lot better. And I'll say why. But if you haven't tried the products, it's, you know, at least know the Miracle Set, Microderm, the basics, you know, so that you can easily talk about them. It was brought to my attention today, and I think I just like remembered there's 2 apps on your phone that are free. And one is the Great Start app, which none of you are new, but it doesn't mean that you can't go into the Great Start app and go through some of the training that's in there, you know. And I'm not suggesting that you sit down and make this like Mary Kay College, but you know, we all spend time nonsense time in this, you know. So maybe you give yourself 15 minutes a couple times a week to like listen to a video, you know, listen to something, do the MK Confident so that we learn things. The other app is oh gosh, hold on now, I have to like pull it up because I don't remember. That's bad.
It's the face analyzer.
Well, there's that one too. It's MK Mobile Learning app. And there's so much stuff on there. So, you know, if you spend time in your car, if you just pull up the MK Mobile Learning app or the Great Start app, you can listen to stuff while you're driving where you need to go, you know, being safe, all those things. I'm not suggesting that you play with your phone.
And by the way, there's a new law.
Don't touch your phone.
Don't touch your phone in the
Yeah.
car.
Well, so you do it before you leave your driveway, you press play and you drive.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting
my
you break
husband's
the
reminds me every time I leave the house, don't touch your phone.
You can touch the big screen on your car, but not the phone. Okay. So are there any other thoughts or comments on this topic before I kind of move on, wrap it up? You guys are good? Okay. So, booking blitz. We're doing 2 booking blitzes a week. They're available to you. Does that mean you're required to be on them? Are you required to do anything in Mary Kay? No.
Are they Zoom booking blitz?
They're Zoom booking blitzes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and it's on the Believe More event page, and it's in the Believe chat, and I'll be sending out the next one. I'm doing next Wednesdays. And each booking blitz is a different topic of booking. So like today no, Wednesday, I think they're doing birthdays. That doesn't mean that if you get on that booking blitz that you have to book birthdays, but that's what her specialty is. Okay. So Kimberly got on one and Donna got on one, and they each earned these. Look at these pink Cadillac earrings. Can you guys see them? They are so doggone cute. Okay. I have 2 more pair. Okay. So if you come on, stay the whole hour. I'm not talking about how many bookings you got. I'm asking you to be on and sending booking text or calls during that hour. Sound like a plan? I can't be on every single one of them. Like you can't be on every single one of them. But when you are on it, if I'm not there, I want you to text me like, dude, I'm on right now. And I'm on the whole time. Okay. And I will ask you, like, how many calls did you make? How many texts did you send? Okay. Fair. Okay. And once I run out of these, I've got something else lined up. So, even if Kim and Donna have already done it once, you can be on every single one of them if you wanted to. Okay. Makes sense? Okay. And our unit court of sales, I'm not going to go over the details, but I did post it in the Believe page that, okay, go check dinner, Mandy. I posted in the Believe page where the top 21 are, okay? And for every 5,000 wholesale that you have in by the end of June, so this is July 1st last year to June 30th, we'll have an awards dinner and you'll have a nice piece of jewelry from me, okay? So check out where you are and, determine what, go to work. Make sense? Okay. And I want to make sure everybody really understands that the selected skincare sets this month are 55% off. That means, okay, now I'm going to just be I'm going to be so dang real. I'm not telling you to get your Visa and max out your Visa. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying 2 things. One thing I'm saying is this. I know I'm going to sell miracle sets. Does this make sense to you? I'm going to sell miracle sets. So there's a limit of 6 per flavor and of a miracle set, beyond miracle set, and ultimate miracle set. So it really is like 18 of each. I am not suggesting you go max out a Visa, but I am saying to you, if you know you're going to be holding appointments and you have the ability to put an extra $40 per set. Is that right? Wait, hold on. Yeah, almost $40 per set in your pocket. Why would you not? Wait, no, that's not true. I lie. Don't listen to me. It's an extra $15 per set. And my challenge to you is to sell 6 miracle sets minimum. Okay. So if you have the wherewithal to put some of that stuff on your shelf, if you sell it in June, sell it in October, whatever, you're making an extra 5%. Okay. And 5%, you might go, whatever. But I'm telling you, in the job world, okay, 5% raise is significant. Yes? Okay. Yeah. So Mary Kay's saying, here, you can have all these sets and get an extra 5% of profit. Okay. So you do what works for you. If it's sell it and buy it, fine. Personally, I do not put that extra 5% out to my customers. That's profit for me. Okay. That is profit for me. I do one big sale a year, plus I do the 50/50 thing every month. And those are my sales. Okay. But some people do a big sale in the summertime. And if that's what you want to do, we each have our own business. So you do how you want. But I want you to like really understand that if you sold 6 just miracle sets, okay, you would have sold $696. Normally your profit would be $348, but this month it's $383. Okay, so you know, you're not going to quit your job over that, but hey, you know, I remember when I got a 4% raise and it was a quarter, you know, so if you don't get excited,
Or
nothing's
I
going to
think
happen.
now they just call it cost of living, right? They just call it cost of living.
Yeah, but you might get a 2% cost of living raise instead of a 4%
True.
cost of living raise. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's true.
nothing's guaranteed. So, you know, that's a tank of gas. That's a tank of gas. The difference, that 5% of 6 miracle sets. It's a tank of gas.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
your car.
Or your own product.
Okay. Yeah. Or you get it. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me look at my notes. Okay. You guys have questions or comments? Anything you guys want to talk about? It's really nice to see everybody's face. So very, very nice. Haven't seen Nancy in so long. Oh my gosh. And that picture behind you looks like it's AI trying to be Mary Kay.
It's AI trying to be Mary Kay.
Yeah.
Hmm. For those that do know, for those that don't know, they think it's great.
Nancy, that's your grandma? Yeah.
Completely decorated my office, and I just have one picture, and they think it's great.
Okay. So any last thoughts, guys? When I say call me, I really do want to hear from you. If you're having a good day or a poopy day, I really do want to hear from you. Okay. All right. Kimberly has a closing.
All right.
Oh,
So,
wait, hold on. Mandy did remind me of something. I
yeah.
apologize, Kim. So on the 30th of this month, yes, we're having our dinner meeting on the 30th. Where do you guys want to go? You guys are the ones that are here. You get to pick. Somebody say something. Mandy, you just got back from vacation. You don't get to go on another vacation. Fine, be on vacation. That's okay. Anybody have a thought? All right. Well, then I guess I'll put it out there and we'll figure it out. But yeah, so the 30th we'll have our girls' night out. Okay, Kimberly, it's all you.
We have it at the Elbow Room.
All right, here we go. So at the start of it, we were talking about enthusiasm. And so I was looking up quotes about enthusiasm because I didn't have a very enthusiastic last week, but
Maybe get
it's
a
so
little
funny
closer
when
to
I
your
looked it
computer.
up and it was talking about motivation and enthusiasm in your business or in all things you do. A couple of quotes came up, and can you hear me? I think because I have the fan going, can you hear me better?
Oh, yeah, it probably is the fan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
Let me see if I can adjust. So one of my favorite old time authors that I like to teach came from a time where the philosophy was to manifest your own destiny, to manifest your happiness, right? To look for those things that fill your cup. And that's Ralph Waldo Emerson. And one of his quotes is, "Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm." And so enthusiasm looks different for a lot of people. Like Nancy's enthusiasm could be exhausting for people, but it's refreshing for me, right? So however you show up in your enthusiasm is just really about making that connection with your customers, with your friends, with people, with your family. And then while I was thinking about that, it's so funny that Mary Kay Ash, a quote from her popped up, and she said, "A mediocre idea that generates enthusiasm will go a lot further than a great idea that inspires no one," right? So
Directly out of this book. It's directly out of this book.
so funny. So, again, no matter where we are at in our day and our disposition and the experiences we have, to turn it on for our customers and the people we're connecting with is super important. And so sometimes we have to leave or suspend these things over here that are distracting us to show up with enthusiasm, however that looks for our people. And so that is what I leave you with.
Love it.
Okay? Think about how you show up for the people in your life, how you show up for your customers, how I show up for that difficult student that walks into the library, how I show up for a coworker who has demands, how I show up for family, right? How we balance those things, and what we put out there in enthusiasm or lack of enthusiasm kind of comes back to us in kind. And so just be you, just be your authentic self, and however that enthusiasm shows up for you is what you should continue doing.
Love it. Thank you guys. I love you so much. Mwah. Have a great rest of your week.